If you haven't heard of Hytale, you're missing one of the most anticipated games ever.
Hytale is
This
thriving.
has
There is so much
The
hype behind
hype
this
is
game.
definitely insane.
Hytale is out.
Today, I'm surviving 24 hours in Hytale. New challenges, insane battles, and beautiful world. But in the end, there is only one question. Is Hytale better than Minecraft? On the first day, I spawned into a circle. I immediately started collecting stones. Then I opened the door, stepped outside, and wow, man, this game is beautiful. At first I didn't know what to do, so I started hitting pushes to see what they drop, and they actually give me useful things like fiber and sticks. After that, I gathered a few more resources and went for my first tree, and man, it was slow. But in the end, it was worth it, because unlike Minecraft, the entire tree crumbles. And after that, when I pressed tab, I discovered I could craft things like campfire, picking sword and an axe. So I geared up with my first tools. Then I saw it, my first enemy, a skeleton, and knew I had to take it down. In the lower right corner, I noticed that holding down the left mouse button charged a special shot. I didn't hesitate, I rushed towards it and finished the fight. He dropped some linen scraps and bones. The combat mechanics in this game feels incredible, far more alive than in Minecraft. I spotted another enemy. I had to test my special shot, but I was hit so hard I thought this was the end. I barely survived, left with almost no health. I quickly ate some wild berries to recover. These berries turned out to be extremely useful, so I gathered as many as I could. Soon after, I obtained the essence of life. I had no idea what it does yet, but I'm sure we'll need it later. When I opened the map, one location immediately caught my eye, the Forgotten Temple. I knew I had to see what was hidden there. On the way there, I stumbled upon a strange settlement, home to mysterious creatures that look like elves. I approached one of them and finally discovered the true purpose of Essence of Life. It can be used to trade for some items. After that, I gathered everything I could, a bed, small house, and even a few carrots to get started. I kept moving and soon spotted a place that looked like a lookout. Nearby, a skeleton and a bear. I knew I had no chance against them, so I pulled back and crafted a workbench to prepare better gear. When I returned, I pickled off the skeleton from distance without much trouble. The bear, though, was a completely different story. I had to move closer to land my shots, and after a few arrows, it charged straight at me. I tried to finish it with daggers, but after taking a heavy hit, I made a desperate escape into the water. Luckily, the bear couldn't swim, so from there I finished it off safely with my sword. I wanted to try a different weapon, so I crafted this Goood mace, and I really liked it. It looks great and it hits hard. I think it's even more useful than the sword. I needed to collect more hides, so I hunted a few animals and skeletons. Before heading to Forgotten Temple, I made sure to have food that could regenerate my health, just in case I run into something dangerous. Once everything was ready, I set off my journey and finally reached this magical place. It looks beautiful and well kept, nothing like I had imagined. Both outside and inside there were strange statues whose meaning I didn't understand. After picking up apple, I headed straight down to see what was waiting below. There I encountered a monster that looked like a golem, and I had to take it down. It absorbed my arrows like they were nothing, and I struggled to defeat it. But with combination of my bow and daggers, I somehow managed to finish it off. He dropped an emerald and some green crystal shards. I collected a few useful items from chests that I know I'd need later. Then I headed toward the portal to see what was on the other side. This place was so beautiful, I could hardly believe it. I came across two strange creatures. While I couldn't trade with the one-eyed one, since it's still work in progress, I was able to trade with the great alpha I've seen before. I finally decided to spend some of my essence of life, so I looked through the options and saw mostly food, so I picked the Caesar salad, the obvious one, and honestly, it looks pretty good. After that I headed toward the statue standing in front of me. When I pressed F, I unlocked the memories feature. So now, every animal I encounter will be remembered. And I'll be able to return here to unlock new things, so that's definitely going to be one of our goals. I explored the area a little bit more, but I felt like the place was still under construction, so I didn't stay long and decided to move on. Overall, I think Hypixel Studio did an amazing job with this area. When I stepped out to the portal, I went upstairs to head outside, and that's when I experienced my first night. It looked incredible, with so much detail around the moon and stars. I wanted to go to sleep, so I placed my bed, but the game told me I couldn't sleep yet, that I have to wait 56 minutes. I waited for a while, tried again, that's how first night in the Hytale passed. But I wasn't done yet. I couldn't resist the urge to craft more and explore what the caves are like in this game. So when the morning came, I returned to the small village with doubts and decided to build my base right next to them. First I needed to craft a builder workbench, set it up, and then make another regular workbench, because I had forgotten my old one somewhere. The builder workbench turned out to be extremely useful. You simply place a block you want and everything gets built automatically. For armor, I first had to craft a tiny rack and process the hide inside it. I also had some copper that I found on the way to the Forgotten Temple, so I smelted that as well. After that, I threw myself into gathering resources, stone, trees, everything I could find. And finally, after all that work, I crafted a copper pickaxe, which will be perfect when I head into the caves. My inventory was full, so I crafted a chest and stored everything inside. After that, I started searching for a cave, but after a long time, I couldn't find one nearby, so I decided to do it in the old Minecraft way. Just dig it straight down. I couldn't believe I was actually doing this. I was so scared that I will fall into some lava and lose everything, but after a long and painful dig, I finally found the cave without falling into lava like in Minecraft. The cave looked exactly how I imagined it, very similar to Minecraft caves, but surprisingly there weren't many mobs. There were only a few rats and bats and they didn't deal much damage. I discovered a lot of copper and iron, and I mined everything because I needed to craft the armor I was planning to make. Then something very strange happened. The rat exploded. I couldn't believe what I had just seen, but I quickly got the answer. It turns out when you step on these yellow mushrooms, they explode and destroyed the floor beneath you. After that, I realized I could go even deeper, so I went down and started mining even more iron that I need later. Then I come across this really strange bridge, and that's where I met the first real enemy in these caves. I tried to take him out with my bow, but out of nowhere, he started throwing bombs at me, which I definitely did not expect. This game seriously has so many surprises. He didn't put up much of a fight though, so I managed to take him out pretty easily. I still had to be careful because there was lava literally everywhere around me. I picked up the bomb he dropped and honestly just looked how cool this thing looks. I continued my adventure and encountered another enemy, slightly different from the last one. I tried using the bombs this time, but they didn't really work. After I killed that enemy, a whole group of them showed up and I had to take them down one by one. The combat in Hytale honestly feels amazing. It feels alive and super engaging. I could fight these monsters all day. One of them dropped a new weapon, the scrap mace, which I'll definitely use later. After clearing them out, I explored a bit more to see if there was anything else around, but then I ran into another gremlin, so I took care of them as well. I started mining even more copper and iron, and at this point I realized I was stacking up quite a lot of resources. When I went a little deeper, I encountered some travelers. They looked harmless and did not really attack, so I killed them to see what they would drop. And surprisingly, they dropped a new essence, the essence of fire. These essences must be really important if they are this rare. But then something happened that I didn't expect. A witch attacked me, casting green spells in my direction. I was ready to fight back, but then I started a massive thud. I knew I couldn't afford to die here, so I made a tactical retreat and ran as fast as I could. After a while I calmed down and thought I was safe, so I went back and easily took off one of them. Everything seemed fine until he showed up. I started running again, hoping I could escape, but he followed me fast. At that point I blocked myself and made the decision. I wasn't going to fight this giant toad today. I came back later for him when I was stronger. For now, I dug up straight, breaking block after block until I reached finally the surface. I could finally breathe again and headed back home. So, to answer the question, is Hytale better than Minecraft? I don't think so, at least not yet. It's still in the alpha, so it can compete right now, but does it have the potential? Absolutely. And will I be making a series on this? Yes, so make sure to drop a like and subscribe.